Hey guys, it's Clara. I did my project on the Israel-Palestine conflict. So the Israel-Palestine conflict has been on my radar for quite some time, although I've never really been educated on the subject until now. It has revealed itself to be much more complicated than I had anticipated, with many outside players than what the name consists of. For the sake of learning the basics in a timely manner, I have consolidated the most important events that will help us gain a better understanding of where this conflict lies today. So, to start off, both the Palestinians and the Israelis have ancient religious ties to the land that is now recognized as Israel. Israel is the only Jewish state in the world and was formed by Jews fleeing persecution in Europe and by those who wanted to establish a national homeland. Historically, both Arabs and Jews lived in the lands currently being disputed over, which was then known as Palestine. The Jewish people were dispersed to other parts of the world by the Roman Empire, and from that time forward, Palestine was mostly occupied by Arabs, otherwise known as Palestinians. Fast forward to the 20th century, Jews all over the world, mostly from Eastern Europe, were being persecuted because of anti Semitism. The concept of Zionism became a popular movement among some Jews, and some started returning to Palestine, which was then a British mandate. During World War II, over 6 million Jews were killed in the Holocaust. After World War II, the United Nations supported return of the Jews to their homeland and established Israel as a nation in 1948. So, each group's religious claims on this holy land is where this modern conflict stems from. The dispute is over who gets what land and how it is controlled. This disagreement, for the purpose of keeping up to date, has been going on since 1948, when Israel was recognized as a nation by the United Nations. The Palestinians and their Arab allies opposed the establishment of this nation and immediately attacked, literally the same day. The new nation of Israel was able to survive and defeat the Arabs. So this war over the territories resulted into the division of the land into three parts: the State of Israel, the West Bank, and the Gaza Strip. These armistice lines, otherwise known as the Green Line, encompass 78% of Israel's territory, allowing the West Bank and the Gaza Strip to be occupied by Palestinians. However, those who control the land is a bit more complicated. Hamas, a Sunni Muslim fundamentalist group, has control over the Gaza Strip. The West Bank is under control of another Palestinian group called the Palestinian Authority. However, there is quite a large Israeli population settled there and is patrolled and protected by the Israeli. The Israeli presence in the West Bank led to the First Intifada in 1987. An intifada is sustained Palestinian protests, sometimes violent riots, against the occupation of the West Bank and Gaza Strip by Israelis. So, to get the ball rolling on some peace, the Oslo Accords of 1993 sought to make peace between the rivaling groups. The Oslo Accord recognized the Palestinian National Authority as an interim self-government structure for the Palestinians and their representative in future negotiations. In 1995, a second Oslo Accord was signed recognizing Palestinian interim government as having authority for the Palestinian people in the West Bank and Gaza Strip. In 2000, the Camp David Summit was arranged to discuss borders, security, Israeli settlements, Palestinian refugees, and Jerusalem. No agreement was reached, which Israel and the U.S. blamed on the chairman of the Palestinian Liberation Organization's refusal to bargain. Shortly after, a second intifada occurred that was much, much bloodier than the first. So, ever since then, the United Nations and the United States have tried to implement various plans that would eventually lead to peace. So far, none of them have worked. As of February of this year, Trump has released a new controversial plan calling for action to be taken for more peace efforts that favor Israel. Although the goal is to have a two-state solution where both states will exist, some people are beginning to believe that only one state will be able to exist in order for there to be a two-state solution. Both states need to acknowledge the right for both states to exist, just as a starter. After that, agreements need to be reached about borders, national security, Jerusalem, Israeli settlements, and Palestinian refugees. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you guys are all well and healthy. See you guys later.